Hello, everyone, and welcome to the best and worst of Walt Disney World, brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel and Disboards.com. I am your host, Rhino Clavin, and in this week's episode, we are going to be doing the most overrated attractions with the longest waits at Walt Disney World. And to help me with this discussion, we've got Mrs. Morgan Lamone, Corey Fiescanaro,
hey guys,
and Craig Williams.
Ahoy, hi.
All right, so we've done the episode most underrated attractions with the shortest waits, and now we're doing overrated with the longest wait. So this is kind of more of a personal thing. We each kind of threw out one or two on this list here, so please feel free to attack us in the comments section afterwards. But I'm going to save the Animal Kingdom one for the very end, but anyway, let's just dive right in. Morgan brought this up. I don't know that I agree with her. She said Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin at Magic Kingdom. Please tell us why.
Don't hate me. The reason I don't like it and I think it's overrated is because I don't do as well compared to Disneyland at our Astro Orbiters.
So you're not good at the attraction, so you think it's overrated.
Well, it's because you can't pick up the gun, you can't move around, the targets aren't as interesting, and the layout of the ride is just wonky. Like you're turning from one way and then you got to turn all the way to the other. It's just too difficult, and for the wait and the payoff, I don't think it is as fun. Like I like our Zurg animatronic a little better. I like other elements at Disneyland a little bit better. Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I enjoy Buzz Lightyear, but I am terrible at it. And somehow there's a group of people who just know these hidden tricks and are able to just max out their score within the first two rooms. I don't get it. I've talked to people about it. I still don't get it. But just because I'm terrible doesn't mean I don't have a good time. My problem with it is that the laser technology feels outdated and doesn't feel like it's really accurate at all. And on top of that, I don't always feel the cleanest coming off that ride.
I can understand that.
Like
yes.
the gun usually feels kind of greasy, and like you see the people's fingerprints on it, and I'm just like, I really don't even want to touch it. So
I do think that it seems like the wait for this attraction has only gone up in the last couple of years, and the problem being is it has one of the, I think we talked about the smells of Walt Disney World at one episode, and it smells like someone is hiding diapers in there somewhere. And so it's not an attraction you want to be stuck in. Also, the queue wasn't really built, I don't think, to hold a long wait. Right. So I do feel like lately I can't go over there where it's not a ride I want to wait 45 minutes for. It's a ride that you want to wait like 15 to 20 minutes. I do enjoy the actual ride itself because I am awesome at it. I don't know these tricks, but I'm just good from years of practice. But that's just me. I think Fiasco has a fairly... Fiasco and myself have some controversial ones on this list. Yeah. Now, Fiasco is not a fan of a historical, we'll say, roller coaster over in Tomorrowland as well.
Oh, yeah. So Space Mountain, our Space Mountain at Walt Disney World is a huge thumbs down for me. I love the iconicness of that building, but as far as the ride itself, just feels super janky. I can't come off it without feeling like I need to go to a chiropractor. And it's just disappointing because I think the Disneyland one is stellar. But this one, it's not a smooth ride. And it easily warrants on any given day hour-plus wait times to 2 hour wait times. And I mean, for people who don't know exactly what they're getting into, it feels outdated. It feels outdated.
I think that's where we're at right now with it. Is that it is this like I made the joke, like a historic roller coaster. It's been around for so long. Yeah. You know, what is it? 75, I think, was when it debuted, and so it's like it's. You know, you've had your parents, you know, for me, it was always like, oh, Space Mountain, you know, it was this big thing. You've heard about it your whole life. And now Disney has 4 theme parks here, 2 water parks. And in that time have built all these other types of attractions, including coasters like Rock and Roller Coaster or, you know,
Slinky Dog,
it's like stuff like this that are much smoother and have, well, Slinky Dog being an exception. Well, and I guess Rock and Roller Coaster. I would say Everest has more theming involved with it, but like that, it kind of is starting to show the age, the wear, the tear. So
Yeah.
I do think for younger people who are experiencing it for the first time after they've had these other attractions, they're going to think like, this is what I've heard about my whole
Right.
life, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's overrated in that sense. And yeah, the wait is ridiculous. I'm going to throw out one here that is definitely going to end up with me getting hate mail. I think that Peter Pan's Flight is overrated. I think that it always has like a 90+ minute wait, and I think there is this hype around it. I don't understand, and I will be 100% honest. I don't like Disney's animated film Peter Pan, and I love the story of Peter Pan. I have the books. I have the sequel book, Peter Pan and Scarlet. If you've never read it, it's a great book. It's the only official sequel, I believe, and it's just one of those, like, I've been on the Disneyland one. I hate to always do this and compare the Disneyland one, but they have that whole scene where you fly through the stars and you see like the tiny Neverland. And then when you get to Neverland, it's like, wow, I went somewhere. This one is like, whoa, I can see the darling's bedroom right there. And it feels like lately it hasn't received the love and care it deserves. The attraction is just so short. You've waited so long, and it is so little of the movie and so short. And it's just like, I don't know what's going on with the lighting. Like, I can see everywhere where you could get out. It doesn't have, it's the same problem I have with the movie. It doesn't feel as magical as it should for a story about a boy that flies these British children off into an island in the sky, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic Disney dark ride, but it's definitely super, super short, and the lines are super, super long. This is one of those attractions that I will never take off your must-do Disney ride list, but you need to prioritize your fast passes here.
Yeah.
You got to fast pass this.
Yeah, don't wait the long time. I mean, the sad part with the fast pass is I do think they've added a pretty cool interactive queue
queue's
that
cool.
you don't see that queue until
I
like
really
an hour
like
and a half into it.
Exactly. And I really enjoy just sitting in that room and just looking at the things in the queue. But when you get a fast pass, you miss all of that. And so it's like, do I even bother going on it?
It's a shame that they couldn't do something like how they did with the two Dumbo attraction, like the two dueling Dumbos that you know how you wait in the tent and you get to experience that stuff. It would be cool if this was sort of a wait experience area, but I'm not an Imagineer. We're going to move over to Epcot. Morgan's got a controversial one over here at Epcot, and I'm going to agree with her. It is Soarin' Around the World.
I loved it. Rhino doesn't agree with me, but
Oh, no, I don't like it.
no.
Oh.
I loved it over California. That's what I like.
I do not agree with you. You are correct.
Yes. The Soarin' Around the World, trash. I don't like it. I don't waste my time. Since moving here, I haven't been on it.
Wait, I need to then
Yes.
specify exactly what I believe.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that Soarin' over California is better than Soarin' Around the World.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
so-
you don't wait for it, no matter what version
God, no,
it
I
is.
would never wait. The wait for Soarin' is always, it is the slowest moving wait. Like that attraction and that line is the worst. Like they added those games on the wall or whatever, but it is just so boring and you are barely moving. And I've said it on another show before. If Soarin's your favorite ride, that is amazing. I am not taking anything away from it from you. But for me, I said to Fiasco, because he's also from Massachusetts and knew what I was talking about, Jordan's Furniture had this mom experience, you know, and Jordan's Furniture also was a big pioneer in IMAX and in, you know, having that be having screens available for people to view movies on. So everything was always this big screen. So when you went to see an IMAX theater in like Natick or something like that, you're right up against the screen. So I have experienced Soarin' with like no movement before. So it is not this cool, yes, you take off, that's awesome. I just don't think it's not as magical for me personally. That's all.
And then even if you have a fast pass, you're still waiting 20 minutes because they're going to put you in that other hallway.
It's such a frustrating experience.
Yeah, and then you wait in those three loading zones like A, B, and C. It's a whole thing.
As a local who lives as close to the park as I do now, I have a hard time going on Soarin'. Soarin' over California, I love that attraction. I'll never diss it. I absolutely love Soarin' over California, and I was heavily disappointed with Soarin' Around the World. I feel like it's a downgrade from its previous version, which is a huge bummer. But with that being said, out of the top tier fast passable attractions at Epcot, which is Soarin', Test Track, and Frozen, Soarin' is still remaining my favorite of the three. But yeah, like you said, it's even
I
though
just think it's overrated. That's
yeah,
all.
and
I'm not saying it's bad. I just think it's overrated. Yeah.
yeah, and then if you fast pass it, like you said, like you only get to the part where you choose your concourse, and you're still going to wait at least 30 minutes at that point too. So
Well, you have another one that is at Epcot as well, and that is Frozen Ever After.
yeah, so then and this is gonna be a split decision too. But Frozen, I think, is the most overrated top fast pass attraction at Epcot. It always warrants the longest wait. People go crazy for it, and it is the hardest fast pass to secure in Epcot. But besides the addition of the new Anna and Elsa animatronics, the projections and all that, it's an outdated track.
Well, it's like I feel like in Epcot there are not a ton of those type of experiences, so I will give it that. Like I understand the demand for it for that. In terms of Walt Disney World attractions, 100% overrated. Like you said, it is using kind of that pre-existing track in a different way, but it also I think that the Olaf that's in the beginning is cool, and then it's just kind of like they didn't even try to hide the projection faces.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell the story very fluidly, and
It's over too quick.
yeah, it is very quick, and it's just this like it doesn't feel. It feels like something's missing. That's all, you know. So I'm not saying it's a bad attraction. Again, these are not bad attractions. They're just overrated for the line that they warrant. You know.
And I love Frozen. Let me just say, I do love Frozen. I just think it's overrated. And I feel like they kind of said, okay, people are obsessed with this new IP we created. We need to shove it into an attraction. And they found this place in Norway they could put it.
I will say, if you are the ones that do want to ride it and you're willing to wait, the ride time is always deceiving. It'll say 75 minutes, but I did that the other day and it ended up being like 45. So don't let it discourage you too much. I don't know how drastic it's off, but don't let that make you not ever want to go if you really, really want to do it.
Well, the last one on our list is over at Animal Kingdom. I've been saying this since day one. In Pandora, the World of Avatar, the Navi River Journey. No, I did not put Flight of Passage on here because I know everybody loves it, but it is overrated. But that's just me. But that's not on this list. Navi River Journey is on this list, though, because... So I was with the same family I spoke of before. It was my stepmom and her friends from Massachusetts, and they waited the 2.5 hours for Flight of Passage, and she loved it, and that was great. And I'm happy that she enjoyed the experience and they had a good time. She then was like, "Okay, should we go get in line for the River Journey?" And I said to her, "Have you seen the movie Avatar?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, like, how much do you remember of it? And she's like, I saw it when it came out. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to tell you right now, look around. And the outside here where we are is more interesting than the inside of this attraction. It is going to be just floating down a jungle, which is very impressively made, but floating down a jungle, and then a blue person will be singing a fever dream song to you at the end. And then I had one of my friends was there just the other day, and I didn't realize he hadn't done it either. And he texted me after he got off the ride and was like, this attraction is lame. He was like, it was literally like just nothing happened. And then that weird, and I said the same thing to him. He's like, that is literally the description of this attraction. I think if you are a fan of Imagineering and how they put together things, you can enjoy it. But I don't care what anybody says. That is just a journey through a water ride on this planet that you kind of are already having by walking around. I mean, if this ride has 10-minute wait, I would even consider being like, 10 minutes, maybe I'll just go in and enjoy the river. But more than that, I'm like, no way. Overrated, too long of a line.
And I mean, it's a slow boat ride, slow, relaxing boat ride, right up my alley. And this is something that I would definitely hit up all the time when I was at Animal Kingdom if it was a walk-on like most slow boat rides are. But it frequently demands 45, 50-minute, 1-hour waits. So I'm not going to do that for this. It's just... Yeah.
I was just with some friends that were from out of town. I love them, but they wanted to wait for it. And we waited the 2 hours and we get off because they knew nothing about it. I said, guys, it's not going to be worth it. They wanted to do it. We did it. And they're like, that was a lot shorter than I thought. And I was just like, so frustrated. And I think the problem is it's such a low capacity ride. It's only like one boat has 2 rows with maybe 3 adults, maybe 4. I don't know, but it's awful.
Yeah. Well, that is it. That is this list for the most overrated attractions with the longest waits at Walt Disney World. You have Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger Spin, Space Mountain, Peter Pan's Flight, Soarin' Around the World, Frozen Ever After, and the Navi River Journey. Agree or disagree, let us know in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. Thank you, everyone out there, for watching and listening. We hope this episode could help you plan a better Walt Disney World vacation. And remember, if you need any help booking your next Walt Disney World vacation, head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com and let one of the expert agents over there lend a hand with that. We will thank you guys for having this conversation with me. Again, thank you everyone for listening and watching, and we will be back with another episode of the best and worst of Walt Disney World.